Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's picture this. A journey across the Atlantic, just a routine flight. It's September 2nd, 1998.
Right.
We're talking about Swissair Flight 111. It had this nickname, the Flying Bank, because of its amazing safety
A
reputation.
really prestigious flight.
Yeah. Departed New York, 229 people on board, heading for Geneva. But today, well, we're digging into what went so tragically wrong.
Hmm.
And importantly, why this specific disaster really forced major changes in aviation safety worldwide.
And what's quite striking here is that the plane itself, this McDonnell Douglas MD-11, and the crew flying it, they were top-notch, excellent condition, very experienced.
Okay.
But our deep dive today is going to show how something that seems like just a modern convenience, well, it became the absolute critical factor in the tragedy.
It's something unexpected then.
Very unexpected. It really highlights how fast a seemingly small issue can just spiral out of control in these really complex systems.
Okay, so let's get into those moments when things started to go wrong. About, 53 minutes after takeoff?
Yeah, just under an hour into the flight.
The crew notices smoke in the cockpit. That's obviously serious.
Definitely. They declared a pan-pan emergency right away.
Yeah.
That signals, a serious situation needs urgent attention. They started diverting to Halifax, Nova Scotia.
But it wasn't just a little smoke for long, was it? This is where it gets really terrifying.
Exactly. It escalated incredibly quickly. Within just minutes, the smoke went from noticeable to, well, thick, really dense.
And then the system started failing.
Yes, multiple electrical systems began to just shut down. Communication got patchy, then pretty much lost. And crucially, their cockpit instruments started going dark.
Wow. So they're flying blind, essentially.
Increasingly so. It was this incredibly swift and disorienting descent into, well, the unknown for everyone on that flight deck.
That loss of control, the failing systems, it sadly led to the worst possible outcome.
It did. At 10:31 p.m. local time, Atlantic Daylight Time, the aircraft hit the Atlantic Ocean, just off Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia.
And the impact.
It was at high speed, a very steep angle. Devastating. There were no survivors.
Oh, that's just awful. And the recovery must have been incredibly challenging.
Extremely. The force of the crash, the depth of the water, it made recovering the wreckage and identifying the victims incredibly difficult. It took years, literally years, of painstaking work.
Wow.
Forensic experts from multiple countries were involved. It really just underscores the profound human cost when something like this happens.
It really does. So chilling. Okay. After all that work, the investigation by the Transportation Safety Board of Canada,
Yeah.
what did they finally pinpoint as the cause? What started it all?
Well, this was the real bombshell finding for the aviation world at the time. The fire started because of faulty wiring linked to a newly installed Advanced In-Flight Entertainment Network, the IFN system.
Wait, the entertainment system? Screens and things?
Exactly that. That system's wiring, combined with flammable insulation materials, specifically a type called metallized mylar, used nearby, that's what ignited.
So something meant purely for, passenger comfort.
Mm-hmm. Passenger comfort and amenities. That became the ignition point. And the fire then spread incredibly fast through the ceiling space above the cockpit,
Directly impacting the pilot's ability to fly the plane.
critically impairing it, yeah.
That seems almost unbelievable, something non-essential causing such a catastrophe. What did this disaster expose about safety standards?
Well, it exposed a huge blind spot, really. These newer, non-essential systems, like fancy entertainment networks, they just weren't subject to the same incredibly strict flammability tests and safety checks as, say, flight control wiring.
Right, because they weren't seen as flight critical.
Precisely. So the legacy of Swissair 111, the crucial change, was a complete overhaul. Major revisions to aircraft material safety standards, wiring regulations, fire containment rules globally.
So it wasn't just about fixing that one type of wire.
No, it was much broader. It forced the entire industry to reassess flammability and fire safety for basically everything inside an aircraft, especially in hidden areas like above the ceiling. It's still a very stark reminder, hidden dangers can lurk even in advanced tech if you don't have relentless safety oversight.
Yeah, this deep dive really drives that home. Even a top airline experienced crew, they face something unimaginable because of a technical vulnerability nobody saw coming. It's a powerful lesson, isn't it? About needing constant vigilance, constant adaptation, really in any complex system, not just planes.
Absolutely. And maybe it leaves you with this thought. we live in a world where technology is constantly evolving, integrating into everything.
Right.
So how do we ensure that our drive for innovation, for convenience, is always, always balanced with absolute safety?
Right.
What does this tell us about the unseen risks that might be hiding in systems we use every day without a second thought?
A crucial question to keep asking.